Hey there, welcome back. So you may or may not have seen the previous videos, tear down, reassembly, testing, and all that stuff of the generator. But we'll just kind of talk about this generator quick, the one that we rebuilt. I got it on the bench here and kind of have a drawing of how it goes. John Deere did use a 3-brush setup on their early generators. They're both the same. This one just has a regulator. This one has a cutout relay. So they all work basically the same. They use a 3-brush setup, kind of like this right here, the 2 main brushes, and then the 3rd brush to pull voltage for your field windings. So we'll use this as a demonstration and kind of walk through everything. So the 2 main brushes right here, 180 degrees from each other, are designed to pull the maximum voltage off of the commutator and send to the battery. One brush is grounded to the case, and then the other one is insulated and then is connected to the A terminal and then off to your battery. So on here I did not put in the cutout relay. I just simplified things by leaving that out, and there would also be an amp meter in here. But to simplify it, A to the battery, that's all it is right now. The 3rd brush is right here. 3rd brush pulls voltage from the commutator and goes to your field windings in multiple wraps around your field windings, and then out to your F terminal. To create your magnetic field, the F terminal has to be grounded out somehow. Either the regulator controls that or a 3-position light switch, and that's what's kind of drawn here. It either goes through the resistor to the ground, which would create a lower magnetic field, or if you close this switch, that would create a higher current and would create a higher magnetic field. And here's a 3-position light switch right here. It's a double pole switch, so there's 2 functions to it. This side is for the resistor side, and this is for the light switch. So there's two features, 2 actions this switch does. So it's a double pole switch, they call it. But we'll just focus on the F terminal, goes to this. And in low output, or the switch is all the way in, we are running through the resistor. And the resistor would cause a lower or a weaker magnetic field. In return, creates a lower output of the generator. We go to the mid position. That closes that switch. That would be closed now. And that would create high output of your generator. Because now you're going to create a stronger magnetic field, and that'll create a higher output. And then the 3 position that we talk about on this one, you bring it the 3rd position out, is still the same. That switch is closed, plus your light switch now is closed, and current would flow through these 2. That's how you can control your voltage on your early generators, like this one that has a cutout relay. This one right here is a later one and has a voltage regulator on it. Still has a cutout relay in it. It's on the inside. So those are the 2 generators. Generators are the same. It's what's on the outside, cutout relay or voltage regulator. This guy requires no input from the operator except verifying that it works. This guy requires input from the operator to control your battery voltage. So you don't overcharge it, undercharge it, whatever it may be, boil the liquids out of it. So that's that guy. So that's the lowdown on the generators and what John Deere uses. Here's my setup here. We'll kind of walk through it as I set things up. So I just have basic setup here where I can just bolt the generator to these bars. I know it's kind of crude, but it works pretty good for demonstrating purposes. And then I just have a 1-inch socket that's in there. And then that just drives the nut on the end. This is a 15/16, but I oversize it with a 1-inch and then just put some tape on there just to take some of the shock out. So we'll get this set up and then we'll talk through everything. All right. right, so I do have a couple things to bolt up here, and we will talk about it here as we go. So this one did have a voltage cutout relay on it. So the main purpose of the cutout relay is to prevent the battery running down when the generator quits turning. Either quits turning by the tractor being shut off, or it fails to operate, whatever it may be. And once there's no input into it or any voltage out of the A terminal, the circuit will open up to prevent battery voltage being drained down from the battery. Here's the 3-position light switch. I'm going to hook this up on the board here. This does need to be grounded out, so that's what that wire's for. The red is my ground, since this is a positive ground system. And then I also have a light up here, and that's just, it's grounding it out. This is my ground wire to my light, is what that's all about. And then here's my 3 wires for my grounding system. This one right here comes from the battery. This one's just grounding out my light switch, and then this one here is going up to my light. To operate my light for my 3-position light switch. Now I'm going to hook this up, which just goes to my light switch, or yeah, my light switch side of this double pole switch. And then this will be my power to my light switch. And I'm going to go off of the battery terminal on the cutout relay. That'll complete my circuit for my lights. This will be my amp meter. As you can see, amps. The multimeter is set up for amps, DC amps, and I'm just going to connect this up to the battery side, battery terminal, and I'm going to run through it. So the black comes through here, and then just for amp purposes, it's going to go to my battery. So there's a 10 amp maximum on this, and we do not go over that, so we're good to go there. The other part is my battery voltage, which is right here on this one. I'll plug this in, and it's connected up to the battery back here. And we'll get the right button here. DC, there we go, 12 volts. The other test we'll do, and we'll just verify the voltage off the 3rd terminal just to demonstrate how the voltage changes as we adjust this back and forth. But like I said, I don't have another meter, so for now I'm just going to leave it unplugged. And the last thing to do is hook up the 3-position light switch to the F terminal. Must have a loose wire in there. But yeah, everything is set up. And as we're going later on, we will test the voltage off of the 3rd brush. All right, here we go. So I have a 12-volt generator on my turning light here, which will spin it up to about 1450 on RPMs or so. It'll give us the tests and the checks we want to do here. We'll be able to just go through the stuff, and I can show you how everything works on it, from the 3rd brush to the cutout relay to the light switch to everything. So I'll just run through everything that's hooked up here. I have a battery load tester right here. You can see, there you can see, putting a load on it, pulls it down. This is my voltmeter just off of my battery. And then I have the other multimeter that's hooked up to amps. And that's just going to check my output of the generator in amps. I have the 3-position light switch on here. That's what this is. It's a double pole switch. So this side right here is for the generator output. It's got the windings on there, or the resistor. And then this side would be the light switch. So we'll fire this up and we'll see the output here. We'll watch all of it here, kind of talk about it. We'll go from there. Alright, so here we are. The light switch is in the in position. Low output, we're putting out about 1 amp. And you can see here we're slowly charging our battery. 12, 6, 8. It's going up slowly here. So that's the low output position of it. Switch, when I move it to mid position, that'll be a high output. There's my high output. 7.5 amps, and look at my battery voltage is shooting pretty quick. And when I go to the 3rd position, which will turn the lights on and keep it in high output, I'll drop it down 2 amps. And now we're slowly building more voltage. This tractor had 3 lights on it, and we have 1 right now. So if we had 2 more lights on it, that would drop it down to close to 1.5 amps. And then we wouldn't climb as quickly on the voltage here. It's going to fluctuate a little bit as it comes back around. I'm going to switch the meter around here. Unhook this and plug this other lead in. And we'll plug it in on the 3rd brush here. And that's going to tell us our voltage on our 3rd brush. So depending on our voltage, there is going to dictate our generator output. So the higher the voltage, higher the magnetic field, which will increase your output. So I'm going to make some adjustments on the 3rd brush, and we'll watch all these move here. So as I move my 3rd brush closer to the main brush, I'm going to bring it down. It's actually moving by itself slowly. My voltage is going up. Higher the voltage, higher the magnetic field, which in turn creates a higher output on the generator. As I bring it closer to the 3rd brush, my voltage is going up, and my output is going up. This is how you can fine-tune your generator to your needs. I'm going to push it farther away from it now, and my volts are going to drop off. And when my volts drop off, my magnetic field is dropping off, which now my output from my generator is dropping off. So 10 volts on the 3rd brush, or from the 3rd brush to the field windings. That's my output. I'm going to bring this back around, let it come down to about 0.8 or so. Just snug her up about there. That's how adjusting your 3rd brush, you can fine-tune it for you. And we'll put her in I'm going to switch this back over. For battery voltage, we're at about 13. It's high output, and we're building amps quickly. move this over a little bit and we'll check our RPMs and watch our RPMs. So we're at about 1476. I think you can see that yellow sticker on the chuck. 1475, I'll drop it down a little bit. Yeah, we're turning about 1475. Low output for the generator. Got a high output, it pulls it down about 20 RPMs. We'll bring it down to about 1455 and see where we end up. Actually more than that. About 30 RPMs this time. Yeah, we're holding pretty steady. There's the yellow sticker. So we're building some voltage pretty quick. We're going to that, low output. Now the next thing we'll see is, if I can get it set up, is the cutout relay. So the cutout relay right here will open up once I shut it off. There we go. Opened up, and that sole purpose is to prevent drainage of the battery when the tractor's shut down or when there's generator issues or whatever may happen. So there we go, 0. On here we have another 12-volt generator on the turning light. This one has 2 parts to it. Here's the cutout relay and then the voltage regulator part. So same thing. My load test is my battery voltage right here again. So I have 12.5 volts, and then my amp meter again is measuring from my output of the generator. This is just lights. So now we're just single acting this double pole switch. There's nothing hooked up to the resistor side, so it's just acting as a light switch on off. All the way out, lights on, pulling amps. So that's all it does. This feature on here, the 3-position light switch, does nothing for this application. The voltage will be regulated solely by the voltage regulator on this one. So we'll fire it up and you'll see it'll start grading amps, and then we can watch. It'll fluctuate back and forth. I'm not going to adjust anything in here on the 3rd brush. I'm just going to leave it and we'll go from there. So there we go, we're creating 6.5 amps. Our battery voltage is climbing. 13, it'll take a little bit until it gets charged up, and then it'll start kicking in and out. So there's our low output. When we turn the lights on, it'll kick in the high output. 14 volts, should kick back out again. So we'll just turn the lights on again and it should kick back on. I guess at the end, hopefully all that makes sense. Hopefully you can understand how the generators work and you can test them and troubleshoot them yourself. So, thank you for watching.